not to be afraid of making mistakes. I always think about 3 steps ahead, and
Yeah.
obviously that creates a different level of fear.
Meet Yener Benaroya, the founder of Virtual Latinos, who turned early hustle into a global platform connecting over 2,000 remote talents, helping businesses scale smarter through people and systems.
It's okay to make those mistakes because that's where you're going to have the biggest learning and growth. Take more risks, not be afraid of making mistakes.
What's up, everybody? This is Ryan Van Ornum back with another edition of the Scaling Up Success podcast. Today, once again, we want to thank Synergist for being our sponsor of today's program. Today, we have on Yener with Virtual Latinos.
Yes.
Yener, how are you today?
Very good, Ryan. Very excited to be here with you.
Oh, we're excited to hear all about it, man, because you have a really cool platform, and I know that our audience could definitely have a better understanding of what you got going on and help their businesses grow. So let's just jump into it, shall we?
Yes, let's do it. Happy to share.
Well, tell us a little bit about how you got your start with Virtual Latinos.
Yes, happy to share that. So I'll actually start a little bit at a prior moment in my life from Virtual Latinos. Virtual Latinos, I'm originally from Istanbul, Turkey. I moved to San Diego, California when I was 15 years old by myself without my parents. Then a few years later, I brought over my family, and at age 17, I started a business which scaled rapidly, and it was a cross-border business. So I had operations here in San Diego, California, as well as all over Mexico. And at the time, I met one of my closest friends, Jaime Nakach, who's the founder of Virtual Latinos, and he was managing his marketing agency. And one of his pain point was managing talent across the world. He was hiring talent from Philippines and India, and he was always having certain issues because of the time zone, reliability, and different factors. And while I was successful at my business, I'm like, Jaime, why are you having to deal with talent from across the globe? We're right next to Tijuana, happy to invest. Let's open up a marketing agency. It's 20 minutes from our houses. We can drive them back, and let's build a team there. After doing a proper research, we realized that there wasn't many marketers in Tijuana, and as well as from my knowledge and the workforce land, there wasn't a lot of reliable talent there. There's a lot of churn. So he was thinking about creating a directory similar to how the Filipino platforms had various years back. And I was like, that's a great idea. If you're able to create a directory, we can make this really successful. Long story short, in 2020, I joined him as he was able to create an initial directory with minimal engagement that we had. And then from there on, it was, then COVID hit, which was a really interesting situation, interesting mix of our lives, as one of my business got shut down and I was starting this business from zero. And now we've been able to scale Virtual Latinos from zero to over 2,000 talent working for our clients. COVID was honestly a little bit of a cherry on the top because everything went remote during COVID. So it became much easier for us to explain to different business owners the value of hiring talent remotely and how they can also work remotely and effectively execute their roles. So that's a little bit of my journey coming into Virtual Latinos. And today, as I share, we have over 2,000 people working, and as well as an internal team of 160 people. So it's been a successful journey. We've been in Inc. 500 for 3 years in a row, and we've been able to help thousands of companies, along the way.
That's very cool. So what are you most proud about with this journey that you're on?
That's a great question. I think the part that I'm most proud of, and that's part of our mission and vision, is to change 1 million people's life. That sounds like an astronomical number, and it's a huge goal that we're aiming to achieve in 10 years. But we've seen along the way, even from the earlier stages, how bringing job opportunities to incredible talent across Latin America have changed their life completely, right? Economically, how they were able to become more connected to their families and to their communities. And seeing that impact and them sharing that gratitude with us, them sharing that gratitude with their employers, it's something really fulfilling. And on the other side of the coin as well with our clients, right? We've been able to help their businesses scale and be more competitive in a very competitive landscapes that they've been navigating and seeing both sides of growth and how it's impacting their families because we see it not just the individuals, but the impact that's beyond the individual as well.
I love that, man. And one thing that, and you probably know this demographic way better than I do, but like, or this number, but like, I think it's 35% of the population now is of Latino heritage, like whether it's Latin America, Central America, the Caribbean, or South America in the United States. But
Yeah,
only 20% are business owners that are from that same type of demographic.
correct.
What I want and I love diversity of what we have and how we're building in our country in different ways. Do you feel like this landscape has been changing, in the last 5 years more and more that you're seeing business owners come out of that type of demographic more and more?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, I just recently created a post. There is close to 45 million Hispanics in the US. So that's one out of seven people in the US. It's a huge demographic we
Yeah.
have in the US. And what I've seen over time, and it's interesting because every time people think about virtual Latinos, they would think in their mind, like, you guys are probably targeting Latino or Hispanic owned businesses, but we've never targeted that demographic specifically. We've been just
Yeah.
open to, you know, any business owners. And what I've seen so far since COVID till now, that obviously COVID unleashed something very unique entirely in the entire country that everybody started to take more entrepreneurial approach towards their future versus more of an employee mindset approach. So a
Yeah.
lot of small businesses started to be created, obviously significantly on the Hispanic demographic market, but as well as across the board in the US, I've seen, you know, everywhere more and more entrepreneurs are rising in the US.
Yeah, absolutely. And
You know,
I think that's a cultural change too. I think people are kind of getting like they're tiring of the big corporations handling, everything and not giving back to their people and cutting the people out. What we're starting
yeah.
to see is more small businesses on the rise with the utilization of new tech coming into the industries along the way as a whole. Would
Absolutely.
you agree with that?
I 1000% agree. And I think, the growth of systems with the change of, economic landscape have definitely contributed to this change, right? Because now creating a business, starting a business with the right systems in place, it's much easier, much quicker than before. So people are not as afraid of starting their own businesses, small businesses. There's a lot more tools out there that can simplify what they do today to be able to get a bigger, more reach to different type of demographics or clients, as well as service clients anywhere, anytime, right? With the technology in place. So I think all of that between the systems and how things have changed culturally have definitely contributed that boom of small businesses and the entrepreneurialism.
The other thing too is like with what you do with Virtual Latinos is staying up on trends. Not you don't need a shiny object for everything to train every one of your assistants that you place with people, but they still need to have the understanding of how to stay productive with their time as opposed to like, doing things what was done like 10 years ago
Yeah.
that you can automate more systems and stuff like that. How do you stay in front of that stuff?
Oh, that's a great question. So we build an academy for our talent pool in Virtual Latinos. What makes, by the way, I want to share this with you because I think this is really valuable. What makes Virtual Latinos very unique is that over the course of these years that we've been in business, we build an internal community of talent from 20 different countries. So we don't go out there
That's awesome.
publicly look for talent. These are already pre-vetted talent of thousands of people that are in our community. And one of the value proposition that we have for our community of talent is that we have an academy with courses. And some of the initial courses, even 2 years ago, that we've implemented our AI courses actually. While everybody was talking about, oh, AI is going to take people's jobs, why you guys are, trying to empower people with AI, but we have a completely other way of looking at this thing, right? I think the best companies and best talent out there are going to be the ones that are empowered with the right systems in place and with the right knowledge of using those systems in place. So we continuously try to create more and more courses into that academy specific to systems, specific to industry related systems as well, but ensuring that the talent is earning that knowledge that is necessary to keep up to speed with the latest employment requirements, let's say, because we know that if our talent can maximize the output for our clients, then obviously they're able to grow their business. And it's like a circular motion. If they're able to grow their business, they're going to hire more people, because it's never going to be one way to one or to other. It's the systems and the human connected.
Absolutely. I love that. And one of the things that I think about too is like you've developed such a strong culture inside of Virtual Latinos. How did you do that to be able to, because in that workspace that you're in, churn is a real issue with not just clients, but churn of maybe like the assistant not working out at a certain level, or like even though you vet the system, how do you create such a strong culture that people are like clamoring to be a part of your agency?
That's a good question too. So what attracts the talent mostly to Virtual Latinos is that we're not a gig platform. We are offering long-term opportunities.
Yeah,
And on the other side, we're ensuring that we're onboarding clients with in mind that they're looking for long-term team members in their organizations. And we're being very careful on who we bring in as client as well. I mean, we've had situations where we have to kind of gently tell the clients like there are areas that you need to improve on before you can come and hire from us, right? We want to make sure that we are bringing value on both ends, and we're trying to
yeah.
be as transparent and as direct, and it comes down to education, right? And it's sometimes it is hard for certain entrepreneurs to hear that, but now more than ever culture is extremely important. If you don't have the right culture in place, you're going to see a high churn. You're not going to see the productivity that you're expecting. And ultimately, it's going to impact your business. So, that mindset is something that we're trying to constantly teach and educate our clients, as well as we're trying to be conscious of educating our talent pool on how to be professionals, how to have better communication, and how to be reliable individuals so they can have a long sustaining job opportunities in place.
That's awesome, man. Hey, one thing that I look at in terms of trends and where society is going, we talked about this a little bit already, but like I know that there's about 24 to 26 million non-employee owned businesses, like
Hmm.
basically solopreneurs in
Yes.
America. One of the trends that I see, I think that number is going to continue to go up along the way. What I see is contractor agreements. What I see is like 1099,
Hmm.
opportunity contractor type of opportunities, whether it's on a sales position, it's the engagement with companies like Virtual Latinos to be able to help with an asset of services to be able so you can be a solopreneur, but you're acting like a company that may have 40 people in it. Is this something that you see as a trend that's going to continue as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a market for everything. Virtual Latinos is not the right service provider for those solopreneurs that are looking for more project-based people to initially like get them off the ground. And there's a
Yeah,
lot of great service providers out there, and I think they're definitely worth to use. And again, when I speak to any type of solopreneurs or solo practitioners in different industries and verticals, I highly recommend them that they need to ensure that from the get-go, they need to have the right systems in place, because what's going to turn them into 10 people is definitely having the right systems in place so they
yeah.
can really elevate their impact as individuals, one. And the second of all, if you're going to do your first hire or first help, definitely start with a part-time or a project base to start getting that minimal help to get you off some of those tasks. And when you're in a good place of making the next step of hiring decision, that's where agencies like Virtual Latinos will be the right step, right? That at that point you're looking for someone more permanent. You're looking to actually grow your team, and you're building a culture alongside with that.
That's awesome, man. Very cool. Hey,
Yeah,
one thing that we do here on this Scaling Up Success podcast is we like to do a
yeah,
little rapid fire questioning to get to know the founders, get to know the C-suite execs. Are you down for that?
yeah. Anything you need, I'm happy to participate.
Let's do it, man. Hey, what's a book that you're reading right now?
Oh, let me think about which one, because I've been reading various different books. I'm gonna tell you. Let me give me 1 second. There is one that I can recommend is that's a good question. Which one should I? Scale Up is a really good one,
Yeah,
which I've been reading because we have implemented the EOS model, but I always like to compare like different operating procedures.
yeah,
Obviously, I'm a huge operating geek. That's like one of my biggest hobbies, the organizational design. So Scale Up is a really, really good book. So I would recommend that if anybody is into like growing their teams. Actually, I recommend if you're already at 20 plus people, that would be the sweet spot to start thinking about implementing this type of methodology into your business. It's the
love it,
same
man.
thing
Very
as
cool.
Traction from EOS, which I read previously, but
Yeah,
Scale Up brings a different model.
traction is great. Scale up is good. I love it, man. Awesome
Yeah.
job. What was the first job you ever had?
Oh my God, that's a great question. As I share with you, I came to this country at a very young age and without my parents. And obviously, that entailed that I needed to become very creative to start making money. And, my first job was tutoring others in math and computer. You know, I'm originally from Turkey, and the education system is completely different than here. Like you start seeing calculus at elementary school. It's insane. So
Wow.
so when I came here, I was able to give classes and make an extra buck to be able to buy extra stuff for myself. And in addition to that, one of my first jobs were washing cars. So I washed cars. Anything that I could do to make an extra buck here and there, I tried what I can.
Very cool, man. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
I'm a total early bird. I'm a 5 a.m. club guy. I wake up at 5 a.m. I have an early routine. I go out and exercise, and then I come back and spend my early morning with my family as well to ensure that I get my kids to ready for school, have breakfast with them, and then get started with work.
Very cool. If you could have dinner with a historical figure, either living or deceased, who'd you want to have dinner with?
Ooh, historical figure who I would want to have. That's very interesting. That's a very deep question. Historical figure. There's so many people that I could think of. I mean,
Give me your Mount Rushmore. Give me like three or four just off the top of your head.
I
You
mean,
don't
I
have to
would
pick one.
love to meet Albert Einstein for sure,
Nice.
because of his creative and genius mind. Martin Luther King for his leadership, definitely. And what was her name? I'm gonna tell you. One of the ex prime ministers of Israel. It's a woman, actually. She has been an incredible figure as a leader, as a politician as well, and as someone that's building a new nation. So she's someone definitely. Golda Meir. Golda Meir. I was like, why am I
Very cool.
missing her name? Yeah, she's someone incredible, and I think she's a great example that there are incredible female leaders across the world, and we need to also empower them. And I see this in the entrepreneurial side as well. There's incredible founders that are rising right now, and
Yeah,
yeah, so definitely I would like to meet her as well.
that's awesome. Very cool. Do you have a bucket list travel spot you still want to go to?
Yes, many. Japan is one which we're planning to do this year. It's my son's bar mitzvah, so we're gonna go travel Japan. I've never been there. Argentina is another place. Obviously, there are so many places in Latin America that I still haven't been that I'm really looking forward to get to know. So definitely, I would love to travel to Japan, which it's in course. Argentina is another place. Brazil is another place too that I would love to travel. Yeah, I'm a traveler. I've traveled a lot of different countries, and I want to continue traveling with my family. And also, believe that, for the future generations, for our kids, more than school, I think traveling has a huge educational component where they're able to see different cultures and the way
Yeah,
of living from others.
love it. Very cool. Hey, if you had one superpower like the X-Men or the Avengers, what's that superpower you'd want?
A superpower, I think the ability to, get as much as information into my brain as possible. Like the speed of learning, because I think in today's world where things are changing so rapidly and being able to keep up with all that information is so difficult. And I love learning. I'm a lover for new things. And if I had an ability to be able to learn things quicker, I would love that superpower.
That's awesome. Very cool. Two more. Do you have a go-to cheat meal? I know you're active and you're healthy, but do you have that cheat meal that once in a while, like I gotta have it?
Oh yeah, Mexican food, man. I mean, here living in San Diego, we have one of the best Mexican food that you can ever get anywhere in the US. And yeah, my cheat meal. My wife is like, "You're obsessed with tacos." I'm like, "Yes, during the week, I'm gonna behave good. I'm gonna eat at home. We're not gonna go out. It's all good. But on the weekend, I need to get my tacos. Definitely."
Are you a birria taco? Like, do you like
Yes.
birria?
Yeah, I love birria and I love every type of the cut of the meat you can imagine.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so I eat all parts of the animal. I don't discriminate. I eat all type of that you can imagine.
He's like, it's tacos. I'm throwing down.
Yes, yes. Any type of taco. If you come to San Diego, Ryan, definitely I would like to take you to the best spots here.
I love it, man. I San Diego's my favorite. I grew up in California, and San Diego's my favorite spot. La Jolla Beach is my favorite.
Oh yeah, it's a gorgeous place.
Oh,
Gorgeous.
absolutely, absolutely. Last one I got for you, man, is what's bumping on that playlist while you're working out?
I'm a electronic music fan, and actually, in my earlier times, in my young times, how I would say, I was actually a professional DJ for several years, and I presented all over San Diego, LA, Las Vegas. So I'm a big fan of electronic music.
Nice.
Usually, it's probably vocal trance or house music. So
Yeah,
that's what you would hear in my playlist mostly.
that's what's up, man. Nice work. Well, you crushed the rapid fire section, man. Good job.
Thank you so much, Ryan. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you and having this conversation and you allowing me to share a little bit more about myself.
Absolutely. I got a couple more to wrap up for you, but
Yeah.
if you could go back in time and talk to a younger version of you, a younger Yener, like
Yes.
what's that one piece of advice you give yourself now?
I think the biggest advice that I would give to myself is not to be afraid of making mistakes. Because of my personality as a Virgo, I always think about 3 steps ahead. And
Yeah,
obviously, that creates a different level of fear. And sometimes, just giving that advice of like, it's okay to make those mistakes because that's where you're going to have the biggest learning and growth in your life. So I would
yeah.
definitely encourage my younger self to, take more risks and just not be afraid of making mistakes.
Very cool, man. I know you're growing at a rapid pace, but riddle me this one. Where do you see yourself in like 5 years?
In 5 years, I see myself owning and operating multiple businesses, which is my passion, and sharing my knowledge of operating different businesses with others. So between consulting and operating different businesses all at the same time, simultaneously. I know it's a hefty goal, but I really enjoy what I do and I want to continue to do what I do.
Fantastic. People are interested in your services for virtual Latinos. How can they get a hold of you?
They can connect with me via LinkedIn or they can just email me directly at Yener, Yener, at virtuallatinos.com. And I'm happy to support anyone who's interested to learn more. And I'm also interested to learn about their business and see how I can be helpful for them.
Yenner, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the Scaling Up Success podcast today. Thank you so much for your time and your transparency and your openness. I love what you got going on, and best of luck moving forward with everything that you got going on, my friend.
Thank you so much, Ryan. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Ryan Van Ornum signing off for the Scaling Up Success podcast. Once again, thank you to Synergist, our sponsors for today's show. Until the next time, everyone, please like, comment, and subscribe on our videos on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. Until the next time, stay blessed, everyone. Take care.